Here we go, guys. It's a nice day to come to the movies and see Candyman.
And now, your mama knows. One, two, three, four.
Alright, guys, so the story was actually pretty cool. It was the guy that was walking around trying to figure out the Candyman story. And if you've seen the trailers, which I'm sure we all have, you wonder, like, what's going on? Because the trailers don't really give you too much to figure out. But I'll say this, the story is pretty good. Don't listen to people who said the movie wasn't good. Go out and see it for yourself, because the story does a great job to be a part of the Candyman franchise or movie or whatever. But I'll leave it at that. Alright, guys, so let's talk about this expectations of mine. To be honest with you, from the trailers, I felt like it was predictable, and I felt like I wasn't gonna like it that much, right? But I will say this, it exceeded my expectations. From what they make you see in the trailer, I feel like it's predictable, but it's put together pretty good with the story and what they give you. And it was very violent, and I feel like if you're a horror movie or a killer, you know, all that type of stuff, you got to be kind of violent. And honestly, I didn't think they was going to take it to where they took it, so that was pretty cool. And I didn't think, how do I say this, because this is spoiler free, I didn't think it was going to be wrapped up as well as it was. I'll just say that. So it did exceed my expectations. So it was very entertaining. I mean, it had your traditional killer in the story, twists and turns and violence, and it did what it needed to do to be the new Candyman. So is it better than the old? Well, that's what we're about to find out, because we're about to watch the original right now, and then I'll actually have a review for that as well. So you tell me, do you think it was better than the original if you've seen both? But I'll see you there. I'm pretty sure you all should have seen Candyman by now, but it came out in '92, and it was pretty much about a woman who was trying to figure out the Candyman story. So she was tracking it down, going to the old projects where it's supposed to happen. She was getting information on it, and then somehow, well, not somehow, but she said Candyman's name 5 times, and Candyman kind of came to her, kind of wanted her to do his bidding. I thought it was pretty interesting seeing the story, and especially because I just seen the remake, or the whatever you want to call it, the new one. All right, guys, so my expectations for this movie, I honestly didn't remember one bit of this movie at all. All I remember was Candyman and the actor, and he got a hook hand, and bees fly around, and I literally couldn't remember anything about the story. So I don't even know how to say. I can't say it met my expectation because I couldn't remember it. But I guess in my head, trying to think of the movie, it was different than what I remembered. I just thought Candyman went on a killing spree, killing people, but it had so much to do with the Lady Helen. So I don't know. Alright, let me just say this about my expectations. I guess because I thought it was more about him killing people, like a Jason or a Freddy, it didn't meet my expectations, if I had to actually label something, to be fair. Alright, guys, let's talk about that good old entertainment. So it had a pretty cool story that I was like following down the rabbit hole. But to be honest, because I just seen the new one, I was wanting to watch this and see if it connect all the dots. And that's what made the original Candyman so good. And I wish I would have watched this first before I went to the movies, to be honest. But for a movie made in '92, it gave you that old back in the day feel, where it was more like suspense, and you didn't get as much killing. The writing was different back then, where everything was more suspenseful. You waited a while for stuff to happen. So knowing that, because obviously I'm a little bit older, it didn't bother me, but it might bother some younger people. They might be like, what? But it was good. But I do think the new one is better. I will say that. So it was entertaining. All right, so here's the crazy thing. Now we're just going to follow this Candyman thing down the rabbit hole. Check this out. That's right. We're about to watch Candyman Part 2. Farewell to the flesh. Let's do it. So the story was about a girl who father died, and kind of find out he died from Candyman. And she was pretty much trying to figure out, how did that happen? And she uncovered some crazy mysteries and kind of find out she's related to Candyman. So I'll leave it there. You guys should probably check it out. But story's pretty interesting. I don't know if it met my expectations, because I really didn't know what I was going to see. But I guess maybe it didn't. Like, it went in a different direction that I didn't think was going to happen. It was more story-driven and not just Candyman killing a bunch of people, like a regular back-in-the-day horror slasher movie. But it was interesting as well. So I'm going to say it met my expectations. I will say this was entertaining because it's going to give you a side of Candyman you never seen before, right? Candyman so far has been a very story-driven killer type movie. Usually Jason and stuff like that is pretty simple, but Candyman tries to give you a little bit of lore and like deep meaning behind him. It was pretty entertaining because it was very different, and I didn't expect it to be the way it was. Plus it had some crazy gore, some pretty good kills in this as well. So I gotta say this was pretty entertaining. And the rabbit hole continues. Check this out. We are about to watch Candyman Part 3. Then we would have watched all the Candymans. So let's go. Story was very interesting because they continued it from the story of Part 2, where pretty much his bloodline was in the movie, meaning that he had a great-great-great-granddaughter. Yeah. So this went off where his great-great-great-granddaughter was an adult. And pretty much she was, I won't say tricked, but kind of like peer pressured into saying Candyman 5 times. Candyman comes, and then he just started killing people, and it goes crazy from there. That's pretty much the story in a nutshell. But you should probably watch it if you haven't seen it. Alright guys, so my expectations, I had no clue what it would be. Never seen a trailer for this movie. I didn't even know this movie existed. Didn't know they had 3 Candymans, but it was cool to watch it. So, I guess it met my expectations of what I thought a third one would be based off of what happened in the past. At this point, it was just is what it is. I was just watching them to watch them. I just wanted to get them under my belt and do this review for you guys. But it met my expectations. I mean, it was Candyman. It was killing. It was, you know, the story ended from the last story, which was cool. It met my expectations. Entertainment. So this was your Candyman movie. You know, your average stuff. From part 1, part 2, part 3, this just fit right in line with all of that. I personally think the new one that came out was better. But this one was entertaining. It had your typical killing. It had your lore. It had Candyman. It gave you everything you needed in a Candyman movie. So it was very entertaining. And it was cheesy, but it was made in 99. So it was that 99 cheese, you know? That type of movie. So. Alright, so check this out, guys. One of my earliest memories of Candyman is watching it with my little sister, because she was such a big fan. And guess what? That was in 1992. And
That's
here,
how long it was?
yeah, the movie came out in 92. And here it is, going to the movies to see Candyman with my little sister. Why did you love that movie so much?
No, I was scared so much because he was the only black horror person out there.
But you got
So
this.
I
You
always
got.
thought he
Hold
was
up.
real.
You got the story that you was tied to a
Yeah,
chair.
when I was young, my parents went out of town, and you and Craig tied me to the chair and held my eyes open like this and made me watch it.
That is a made-up story.
And you don't
at
never
best.
remember it.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get her reaction to the movie. I'm gonna get her little mini review, see how she like it after all this time.
We'll be back.
What do you got to say? After all these years,
I'm not scared no more. It wasn't that scary as the first ones.
right?
Yeah, the first ones was super scary. So I'm gonna go home and say his name in the mirror.
I ain't doing that, but so you broke your fear.
Yep.
All right. So you seen it, guys.
Be another one? Oh, this man's waiting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be another one. I think they're gonna make like a thing out of it now. That's what I think.
It
So,
was super good.
all right, you guys heard it.
Even though Tony Todd only got 10 seconds.
Hey. All right, so here's the story. I was cutting the grass. I got my shirt off, right? And then I felt a sting, and it hurt. I was like, oh, what the? So I was like, what? I see a bunch of bees, right? I get stung by a bunch of bees while I'm cutting the grass. And I said, you know what? I'm getting revenge. So I run over, grab the water hose, and I tell myself, oh, I'm gonna spray them, right? So as I got the water hose in my hand, and mind you, I'm wearing gloves. They stung through the gloves. I go to spray them, and I just feel, ah! Both hands, they stung me.
I can see the stinger.
Oh, man.
I can see the stinger.
Okay, and then this hand.
Where at?
Oh, you can see it around there.
Okay.
It hurts all in here.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't make this stuff up. And mind you, I haven't been stung by a bee since I was a little kid. And mind you, I just took my sister to the movies yesterday to see Candyman. So is there a reason I got stung 3 times the day after I seen Candyman? And they stung my dog. Oh no. Josie, they got you too. Can't make this stuff up. Anyway, now your mama knows.
And now your mama knows.